now being reported through several outlets that the two are headed towards the messiest divorce in Hollywood history, as Jada seeks to take half of Will Smith's $350 million fortune, which is probably why he stuck around as long as he did. That said, the New York Post, Jada Pinkett Smith teases dramatic new Red Table talk after slap debacle. Wow, I can't wait to read about it. You see here, why is this all zoomed in? Silly goose. All right. But Jada Pinkett Smith teases dramatic new Red Table talk after the slap debacle. The Facebook Watch talk show. Jada Pinkett Smith and her daughter Willow Smith and her mother Adrienne Banfield Norris. I have a hard time trusting women with hyphenated last names. I'm just saying. If a man chose to have a hyphenated last name too, I'd have some questions about that too. It's totally fine if you do, but I'm just gonna need you to pass a little more muster than someone who doesn't. The new trailer teased many celebrity guests invited to the Red Table, included a bunch of people I don't care about. Monet is expected to open up about her coming out at the age of 32. Don't care. Another mother-daughter pair were coming to the Red Table. Kim Basinger and Ireland Baldwin. Don't care. Also don't care about any of this stuff. Don't care. What I care about is now this clip, okay, was brought to light by a good friend of mine, Carlos Dankula. Interestingly enough, it makes her look even more unhinged. Like, you literally have two women here teaming up on a man to gaslight him into saying that he's supposed to stay in a relationship where his partner is like pushing buttons. You see, Dane Redding, the only people who will defend and excuse button pushing is because they enjoy abusing a person, are people who like abusing a person by pushing their buttons. Here's a clip. Watch as three women gaslight a man into accepting emotional and verbal abuse from a potential, I don't know what SO means, and STFU, Willow. Now, I don't know how old this clip is, but let's just take a tiny look into, I don't know, I think this is Wale. I think this is Wale. I don't know who this guy is. Like, these women are psychopaths. Like, it's supposed to be a man's job to endure a woman pushing his buttons just for the fun of it. And by the way, you know, go the other way too. If you're a woman and a man just constantly pushing your buttons, I think some people might say, like, you know, it's a form of flirting or it's a little bit. That's not what they're talking about here. Just watch these spectacular gaslighters.
Somebody has learned your buttons, right? And like now they rocks off by pushing every single one of them. Gotta go.
He's 100% right. But what you're about to see is a masterclass in gaslighting, where Jada's going to take personal offense to this because that's what she does to Will.
You gotta go because this person has learned me for the wrong reasons. You're gonna be with somebody, they're gonna learn what to push regardless. Yeah. Some people use it for the worst. Some people like, oh, I know his buttons.
But let me tell you something. That's the stuff you gotta work through. That's it. Yeah. That's
wrong. 100% wrong. And like, I don't, like, we see, Wale knew who he was dealing with and wasn't feeling that energy at all. Nope, sorry, I wouldn't have said this is not to work on you. They're trying to make your partner miserable, and they think that you're right. Oh, no, nope, sorry, I would have said, no, this is not to work on you. You're just trying to make your partner miserable, and then think you're still right. F this and left the table. I mean, it's hilarious. That's not what he said. He didn't say that there aren't rough spots in marriage. He just said, if you're with somebody who knows your buttons and enjoys pushing them, and it makes you unhappy, that's not somebody you need to be with. I fail to see why that would be a controversial statement.
Misconception right here.
Why you with
What? Shut up. You're like 12. It is not a spiritual endeavor. These are like words spoken by somebody who watched the most dysfunctional relationship on the planet. Like, I'm not trying to be too hard on this kid because she obviously grew up in a bizarre situation watching her mom.
Looks like you've done well.
Be probably one of the most manipulative, evil women on the planet.
I think it's a great idea.
You know, by the way, if this is like a tit for tat situation, where's all the clips of Will Smith being awful?
Good.
You know, there's been dozens and dozens of clips of Jada being awful. I mean, I suppose there's one clip we all saw of him being awful.
Stay safe out there.
Whole thing. I have to look at my trauma. And you're pushing my buttons. That's making me look at my trauma and what I need to work on.
What? Here's a comment button push that happens to me. And I hate it. If I order lunch, right? And like I DoorDash it. And like my old lady was particularly frugal. I'm in a financial position where it doesn't really matter if I spend $20 instead of going to drive and get it for $7. Okay? But like, they'll say, "Oh, I saw you got DoorDash today." That's a button push. It's like, look, I'm just gonna be real with you right here. Like, I make the money. I can buy a sandwich if I want to buy a sandwich. You pushing my buttons because you know it bugs me when you do that. Like, that stuff stops. Like, that got addressed real fast in a very polite, kind way. But like, I don't like it when you push my buttons. It puts me in a bad mood for the rest of the day. And she's not, because that's what like normal people do. You know, like, I know there's button pushing like you know, in a loving way, and then there's also button pushing that's like more toxic. Button pushing in a loving way might be like I don't know. Like do something like dad used to do with us kids. Every time I had a sandwich or like something, my dad would like push his thumb into it, poke a hole in it or something like that, or bun, poke a hole in it. I'd do that to like my wife and she'd get annoyed. But that's not like toxic, you know what I mean?
And clean up your own stuff. You know what I mean? Because
why are they speaking in unison?
I guess she should But I didn't say you like your butt. But here's the thing, that's an opportunity for you to point of view. It's not
Man, I can't believe he just wasn't just like, shut up, and then like come like then they got this dude exuding feminine energy here too. Like, this guy's the only dude at the table. And he's like, no, player, like, if I'm with someone and they're purposely pushing my button, look at Amber and Johnny, same thing, right? If you're with somebody who's purposely pushing your buttons, that's time to go. And of course she's using, you know, now it says the divorce is getting floated out there. Will Smith and Jada could have one of the ugliest divorces in showbiz history. Hollywood actor Will Smith is reportedly barely speaking to his wife Jada as tensions are at an all-time high between the pair after his behavior at the Oscars. Well, he's probably not happy that she sold him out afterwards, after he tried to defend her honor by miladying in front of 20 million people. I mean, you know, I don't know. Apparently, ever since the scandal, tensions between the two have been palpable, and insider told there have been problems for years. They're barely speaking. If the two were to get split, Will has a fortune of $350 million that Jada would be entitled to half of under California law. Well, he's the one that wanted to get married. He's the one that wanted to rush and get married, right? That's what you get. He had plenty of money at the time to know better. It wasn't like he was broke and then he won the lottery. It wasn't like he was broke and he started a successful in a dead marriage and then he forgot to divorce her along the way. He had plenty of money at the time they got married. Well, obviously he doesn't want that, but there's only so much he could take. Well, I don't know. I don't know. He probably should divorce her if he knows what's good for him. But hey, stick around. I couldn't care less. You're both Hollywood scum to me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's talk to you soon. DeSantis may be the only Republican standing up and going to war in the culture war. And to be fair, the Republicans of the Florida Senate and House, it seems like that's the only place where things are actually happening. Florida Senate passes legislation ending Disney's tax privilege, self-governing power, and special exemption status. It has been a terrible year for Disney. Their stock has dropped precipitously. And in today's news, their stock is down another 4% or so. Because I gotta tell you, if you're investing in Disney and you hear they're losing special tax privileges, now it's just Disney in Florida, it's a bad investment. But across the board, it's tanking. Now, right now, in the polls over at Civics, people 18 to 34 think that neither political party is looking out for them. Among 35 to 54, they think the Republican Party, moderately so, but typically people think the Democrats are more likely to be looking out for them. And you know why this is? It's because Republicans cannot get people to actually to recognize the problems of this country or to prove they're willing to fight back. As the Democrats lose favorability, Republicans should be picking it up. They're not, because Republicans are mostly trash. They don't do anything. They sit on their hands. Why? I believe it was just the other day that we heard from the Republican Party, I think it was Kevin McCarthy, where they were like, we shouldn't impeach Joe Biden, because of political reasons or whatever. And it's just like, no, impeach that man. Young people want to see action. We want to believe that if we vote for you, you will do something. Well, let's talk about that. Over in Florida, Disney was trying to avoid the Parental Rights in Education Bill controversy that teachers in schools are teaching children about things they shouldn't be teaching about. I think it's inappropriate for the most part. Now, we're not talking about telling a kid that someone might love another person and have a husband. We're talking about overtly sexual things for 5-year-olds to 9-year-olds. Now, perhaps a parent might determine their child should learn those things. It should be the parent. Teacher should say, maybe you should talk to your parents. You're kind of young, right? Instead, the left freaks out, lies, calls it the Don't Say Gay bill. Then Disney, facing backlash from their employees, bends the knee and says, we are going to see this bill defeated. So Ron DeSantis and the Republicans said, we are going to bring the pain. You want to play politics? We'll play politics. Now their special tax privilege, self-governing power, and exemption status have been revoked. Well, they've passed the legislation. Ron DeSantis was calling for it, so I believe it's going to go through. And then Disney investors get to feel that crunch. Get woke, go broke. It's about time someone stood up to these crackpot cult members who do not represent this country and the majority of the people in it. And it has been that way for some time, but for too long, Republicans have bent the knee, and it's pathetic. You got that governor over in Utah being like, my pronouns are he, him, them. Okay, dude, sure, play the game. I don't want to play that game. I don't like what Disney is doing. But is anyone on the right going to do anything about it? Apparently, the only person you're going to get, Ron DeSantis and the Republicans in Florida, which is why so many people want to see Ron DeSantis run for president. My understanding now, I don't have the story pulled up, but I heard that Ron said he will not run if Trump runs. And, I can respect that. I mean, Ron DeSantis is a juggernaut right now, but he'd be going up against the juggernaut. Donald Trump's going to have that second term, in my opinion, but we'll see. There's a lot of things about Donald Trump that people don't like. And Ron DeSantis, I think, is better, but maybe Ron can see his moment in 2028. Either way. What we're seeing now is that Democrats keep moving further and further left in a desperate bid to try and gain or maintain some power. Now we're hearing that Joe Biden wants to go further left, start canceling student debt because they're losing and they know it. Going further left is not going to work. Going further left already hurt you in the first place. For some reason, these people have lost their minds. They're chasing after this fictitious image of what they think young people are and want. Play the game, Democrats, all you want. It's not going to work out. Let's get started by talking about Disney. What's going on with the stripping away of their special privileges? The GOP in Florida has nuked Disney from orbit. It is affecting their bottom line. The pain has been brought. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com. Why? As a member, you keep our journalists working. That's the real issue here. You want to get these news articles, you want our journalists to write, you need your support as members. As a member, you can access to our exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, where we have conversations with people typically not family expanding. We've got new shows. We're working on new apps. Our mobile app is now in testing. That should be coming out soon. You're going to be able to listen to the podcast on your phone with the screen turned off. I don't want to restrict information. These news articles could be put behind a paywall, and then you have to pay money to see it. But people need to know this stuff, so how do we balance that? Ads are one way, and we're looking at a whole bunch of parallel economic infrastructure. We've got some big announcements coming up. We are not just sitting back. You know, people are like, Tim, get off YouTube. No. Listen, we know.
It doesn't work on my Mac.
We are seeking to upend that system, disrupt, build new infrastructure, and participate in the
Happy
expansion
420.
We have nothing to announce just yet. But I'll just tell you, coming soon, we have some big announcements on building out infrastructure and joining forces with others to say we will not sit back and let these big tech, oligarchy, whatever, far-left cult members control everything. Because of your support here, I'm so excited.
No, I don't, Mr. DeFalco.
Please become a member because we are doing
Unfortunately.
it is going to be epic. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Here's the story from TimCast.com. Breaking news. Florida Senate passes legislation ending Disney's tax privilege, self-governing power, and special exemption status. With a 23-16 vote, the Senate has passed legislation ending their privileges. Since 1967, Disney has operated its own government around Walt Disney World in Florida.
No, not yet.
We introduced legislation tweeted on Tuesday. Disney is a guest in Florida. Today, we remind them, smackdown. He says,
I could download it, though.
Just expanded the special session so I could file HB 3C, which eliminates Reedy Creek Improvement District, a 50-year-old special statute that makes Disney exempt from laws faced by regular Floridians. Quote, I don't think there's another special taxing district in the state that I'm aware of that has the ability to construct their own nuclear power plant. I think that's something that's unique to Disney. Republican House Speaker Chris Fowle said on Tuesday, under Florida's law, Disney can control their own water, power, emergency services, and more. Quote, I was shocked to see some of the stuff that's in there. They can do their own nuclear power plant. Is there any other private company in the state that can just build a nuclear power plant on their own? Ron DeSantis said.
It's not brainwashing material, not to me. How is it brainwashing material, DeFalco? Okay, there's two boys. $42. There we go. Okay, I should probably get away. There we go. Vaporized. It's an alien head as a gun.
The voice of here for Minutemen alerts.
I need to get more ammo. Why are all these other guys showing up? I just have to kill the mutants. I'm level 42. There we go. Where were you at?
This is Radio Freedom, broadcasting all day.
Quick save.
Nothing to report. Keep it tuned here for updates.
I'm still getting New Vegas. Fallout 4 is my first Fallout game. I have a cheap way of healing up. One second. And now I just sleep in my bed and then go back. That's how I've done the whole game. And I don't care.
It's 1 p.m. This is Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. All quiet here. Stay tuned for
Alrighty. Let's get out of this. How am I healed up all the way? That's impossible. At least I am, though. And Ada is back, too.
Of the Minutemen. It's 6 o'clock. Nothing to report. Stay safe, people.
The game is non-existent. It doesn't have a sexuality, Duncan. That's impossible. have Borderlands. I gotta kill this boy first.
It's getting dark out there. All quiet across the country. Stay safe out there.
I'll finish this mission. 1 second. This is what Boston looks like right now.
7 p.m.
I want to be surprised.
Nothing to report at the moment. Stay tuned for updates.
I can't kill them, that would be a bad idea. I have gotten a dub in Fortnite. I just haven't streamed it yet.
Those super mutants won't be bothering you again.
I guess you were the right person for the job, huh? Thanks, friend.
I got my bottle caps now, I'm good. I have, I'll take pictures and show you later tonight. But now I'll do some Borderlands. I quit before I could die too, which is good. I'm loading the game right now, by the way.